Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the planet today, Sunday, the 6th of July. What happened to last week? I mean, it's gone, just gone. And it doesn't feel like a whole week away when I was sitting here doing all this a week ago. And there's so many of you here, and this is wonderful. Hello, I know Christine's here from Cyprus, Craftomatic, Rebecca, Shirley, Amac, Annabelle, and Poonam, and a whole bunch more. This is wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, I don't know. Well, first of all, actually, I do know. I want to send my condolences to the state of Texas and to the people who have been affected by the flash flood there. Interestingly, coinciding with Neptune turning retrograde in Aries. Neptune, water, the ocean. Very, very sad. I hope they find some more survivors. Let's hope. But my prayers and my condolences go to all those who may have been affected by this terrible, terrible disaster. So how is everybody? How is your energy in general? Are you upbeat, excited, flat? What is the general feeling, the general sort of ambience of things? Let's have a look what we're all saying. So, Andy is not going to be here today because Ruby, her daughter, has her something finals or semi-finals or something, and so they're all out there going woo 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 and all that, you know. So good luck to Rubes. And I hope they have a wonderful morning up there in Vancouver. And Poonam, you're saying you feel that something's brewing, but for now it's flat. Yes, I think it's gone a bit flat now. Hi, Christine Jones. Yes, who are suffering from loss, everybody. And the sad loss of the Portuguese football player. That was, you know, that's a European thing, but that was a really sad car accident, he and his brother. And that was just very sad to lose them. Hi, Parry, good to see you. Anne, you've been up and down lately. Okay. I'm okay. I think I'm what I would call today, I'm thoughtful and reflective, getting my ideas into some kind of form. And this may be to do with the Saturn-Neptune energy and that sense of trying to put some structure into everything. I've been looking at how we are affected by our random thinking and realizing that my random thinking, you know, every now and then we have to kind of pick ourselves up. And I realized that my random thinking trips me up every now and then because I start getting very triggered or sensitive by what I think people might think about me or whatever, or what something might come to me via hearsay, and it affects me. And so by chance, because these things always happen by chance, I came across a video on YouTube yesterday, which was about Buddhism, really, and about mindfulness, and about when there is, you know, something or someone who is constantly, perhaps, or the thought that is constantly occupying your mind, to just stand back and observe it, and to be the observer. And I think sometimes we need to remind ourselves to be the observer and to recognize that, you know, these are just thoughts, or they are just random comments that someone may say, and not to be affected personally by them. I don't know if anyone else has that kind of feeling or experience, but I think it is something to do with the Neptune energy, with the retrograde movement of Neptune. Yeah, what is it with water, Christine? Absolutely. Your kitchen flooded. Oh my God. A hose pipe just dislodged itself. Heidi Schmidt, hi, good to see you here as well. Regina, hello, lovely to see you here. You go into the analysis paralysis at times, Poonam. I think we all do. And I think with this general trend of energy this month of planets changing signs and of planets going retrograde, it is giving us a feeling of current or temporary instability. We will get used to this new terrain because we know what's happening tomorrow, don't we? Uranus, our planet of change, the unexpected, shocks, technology, explosive, unexpected events, moves into Gemini. Wow. I mean, this is, you've probably seen, I've got a video up, and hey, am I proud of myself? I did the timestamps for the zodiac signs, and they even work. And I added them to the description box, and it's like, oh my God, I've actually managed to do it myself. This was just like, wow, I was really pleased with myself. But before we get carried away with Uranus moving into Gemini, let's have a look at what is going on today to perhaps get a sense of why some of us might be feeling a bit reflective, a bit, I don't know, just kind of generally perhaps fatigued by that's going on. I'm just seeing what somebody has said here. Rebecca, you're tired of the US struggles and ready for relief. I think we all are. I think we all are. Thank you, Rebecca. Yes, I'm quite proud of myself. I thought, gosh, I actually did the timestamps. And it wasn't that difficult. It just took a little bit of thought. And maybe this Saturn in Aries and the Uranus hovering on the threshold of Gemini, which of course is all about communication, technology, thought, and ideas, just gave me that little bit of extra courage to try and actually sort of, teach myself, Saturn, teaching, learning, to act. Oh, thank you, Jim. Yes, I'm pretty chuffed, pretty chuffed. And what I don't know, it just popped into my mind. I did a video with Sarah yesterday on my channel, Channeling and Stranger Things, and check it out because it's a lovely interview, and we interview a great guy in Malta who is a UFO expert in our islands, and he runs the leading UFO society on Malta and Gozo, and his name's Keith Illul, and we get a lot of sightings over Malta and Gozo. Sarah and I as well have seen strange things in the sky. So you didn't receive the notification. I don't know why. I don't know why. But anyway, check it out. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Yes, it was good. It was a fun interview. Annabelle, you're watching on Stranger Things. Okay. So listen, today we've got Venus, our planet of relationship, value, our planet of the economy, and our planet of, well, love and kindness, and just being in touch with that warmth and caring side of ourselves. And Venus, of course, today is just moved into Gemini on Friday, just after she was conjunct with Uranus on Friday, which may or may not have brought some interesting twists and turns in friendships, relationships, business relationships, Sil, always good to see you here. Great to see you. I like to know you're okay and hanging on in there. Cosmic BL, good to see you. Yes, I know, Annabelle, crop circles. We have to do something on that. I don't know much about them, but definitely going to have to do something about it. But so Venus has moved into Gemini, and today sextiles both Saturn and Neptune. And basically, this is just a very gentle, nice, fortunate sextile, so that it bodes well for anyone who has romantic dreams, because I think Neptune can be that sense of us getting carried away with our romantic ideals and dreams. And what is wrong with that? Doesn't the world need a little bit more love, a little bit more romance, a little bit more fun? And Titsil, yes, I know. It's great to see you here too. And it's lovely to see so many of you here. Um, yes, so I'm just seeing what Parry said up there. You were wholeheartedly, Penny, being a witness and sending out love. I have to say tonight, and I don't know why, I'm feeling a bit flat. And I feel as if I need to somehow wind up my energy or ramp up my energy to get it firing on all cylinders to get into this dialogue with you, because I just feel a bit, and maybe I'm tired. I don't know. I mean, it is terribly hot here. We're going up into the 30 Celsius range now. And this is where I just have the blinds down, the aircon on, and I stay inside. And I wear very little. And that's the best way. Christine, yes, crop circles are created by vibrations. Yes, that is Steve Judd suggests that. And I think that's a really interesting concept. Maybe he'd consider coming on my channel, Channeling and Stranger Things, to discuss it with me and Sarah. I'll have to ask him, but I know he's a very, very busy astrologer. So Annabelle, you're saying you too are a bit tired. Yeah, I went and lay down this afternoon, but I couldn't sleep. I was just lying there, just actually enjoying the peace and the stillness. And maybe sometimes we have to do that. We just have to tune out of everything and just be here. I know, wouldn't it, Christine? Well, I might take a bold move and ask him, see if he would be interested to schedule us into his very busy calendar, but that would be great. Jim, thank you. Yes, I did all those videos last week and probably went again into a little bit of burnout. I do kind of go whoop, 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 whoop. And that's probably why I'm feeling a little bit but we will soldier on. What's Cosmic BL saying? Widow in your life dreamed of her spouse hugging her. It felt so real. She asked him, can this be? Squeezed me more firmly, and she swears it felt real. How beautiful. I will, Christine. I will ask. Because if you don't ask, you don't know. And if you don't know, you don't get. So I will ask. No harm in asking. So I will do that. Yes, I know. And I know very little about it. I'd have to do a little bit of research about it, certainly. So I will definitely ask him. Balance and harmony with not giving in until it hurts. Parry. Oh, and that's the other thing. It's reminded me about hurting. I've got various bits of me today that hurt. I looked at my foot on Friday and noticed that I actually had an infection on my big toe, and the toenail had become ingrown and it had caused an infection. And so I went through a whole drama having to find someone to deal with it and treat it and, all of that stuff, and get the special cream to put on it. And also, and this is a bit personal, I've got a boil coming up on my boobie, and it's bloody painful, I can tell you. I did actually talk to the doctor about it, and he said if it doesn't clear up in a couple of days, I'll have to go and see him and, maybe have some oral antibiotics, which I don't like doing. They just upset your system, don't they? But it is getting a bit red and inflamed. So anyway, enough about my ills. Here I go, wittering away, having a good old witter. Let's go on to Monday, because I think Sunday is just a day of, it's just like any other day. We've got this sextile. It's not making any big dramatic changes, because I think we're in the energy of Uranus moving in to Gemini. And if you've not yet seen my video where I do go through all the 12 zodiac signs, and they are all time-stamped in the description box, I'll be putting Jerry out of a job. I haven't told him. And so but it's quite a good little video, though I say so myself. And so check that out. Oh yes, thank you, Jim. Yes, I would like to be wrapped in light. Balance and harmony with not giving until it hurts. Your back aches, Annabelle, sciatica, just aching all over, tummy upset. Do you know, everything's on my right side? I mean, my shoulder was my right side, my toe is my right side, my boobie is my right side, and my back surgery was my right side. How strange. How strange. Perhaps we're just all a bit run down. Perhaps we just all need a little bit of a break. But Christine, there is an atmosphere of anticipation that something is about to happen. After all we've been witnessing across the world, how do we cope with more shock and awe? Do you know, it's very interesting, because I'm sure some of you who do spend a bit of time on YouTube have seen that there have been various predictions that there was going to be a bad earthquake and tsunami in the Japan area yesterday. Well, of course, thankfully, that didn't happen. But this has been a prediction that's been around for a while to be happening around the 5th of July. And thankfully, it didn't. I like to think that there are enough people that are intending peace, calm, and, just general calm energy to the planet, so that we don't have to have these traumas and disasters. However, hello from Cornwall, Joe Newell, good to see you. You're a Virgo Pisces, okay. And hummingbirds start to come around. Yeah, Poonam, we do need a break. And I know, Annabelle, I saw that with Rachel, what's her name, from Accounts in the Labour Party in Britain. Actually, I felt really sorry for her. That was just awful, seeing a woman breaking down. I mean, somebody sort of should have said to her, you don't go on television today. You go home. You take a day off, or you take a few hours off. Someone should have got her off television. She should not be seen like that. That sort of vulnerability, apart from the fact it doesn't do her political career any good, it actually doesn't do the economy any good, because the last thing we want to see is the Chancellor of the Exchequer falling apart at the seams and crying in the Houses of Parliament. So that was not a good thing. Yes, absolutely, Parry. Let's not project negative and horrific possibilities for the unknown future. And so I think fantastic, great. No great disasters, as were predicted, happened yesterday. And let's hope that stays the situation, that we don't get any more. We've had enough. We don't. Do you know? Sometimes I think there is a thirst for, something to happen. We get a lot of this feeling of energy that, something is going to happen, and sometimes everything's just okay. And isn't that what we want? Don't we actually need everything to be okay and good and peaceful. I like that, Christine. Definitely a rabbit off with British politics. I love it. Yeah, exactly, Annabelle. The shares went down after that meltdown. She a Pisces. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, interesting. And of course, that was her Venus conjunct Uranus, wasn't it? She just broke down. Something had happened behind the scenes that had really upset her. But tomorrow, let's just spend a bit of time thinking about Uranus going into Gemini, because this is big, big, big stuff. This is great. And we've also got Venus trining Pluto tomorrow, which is also lovely. This is transformation and wonderful, deep conversations with anyone on a sort of romantic level tomorrow, and real soul-bearing discussions tomorrow. So, you might find that you really attract intense, overpowering discussions with others tomorrow with this energy. Yes, Poonam, we have to wish for good things to happen rather than disasters. And I'm just looking to see what Kerry's saying. You're saying the energy is very heavy in Central Texas, though. A very sad weekend. Absolutely. Christine, yes, Rachel from Accounts. That's courtesy of Katie Hopkins, the British comedian, because she's so funny. She says everything. Everyone thinks, and none of us dare say. We have to focus on the positives, though. Pluto trining Venus tomorrow, and we're in that energy now, is really a lovely feeling. So for those of you that have still got the rest of the weekend ahead of you, here in Europe, we're winding down. It's evening. It's 6:20 here in Central Europe. So, okay, Shirley, lovely to see you, even if it was just for a short time. Great to see you here. Have a lovely evening. And there's something about Venus and Pluto when they get together in a really positive aspect, which is very magnetic. And it really adds a bit of, Pluto is going to add mystery and potency to your interactions today. So as the day progresses, for those of you in America and Canada, South America and beyond, you've got this wonderful Venus trining Pluto energy for the rest of the weekend and into Monday. And I think it's actually going to really provide a nice backdrop to the start of the week, a really nice feeling of really positive energy. And I think also we will see, even though, say, in the UK, the markets went down a bit towards the end of last week because of Rachel from Accounts, I think they will actually be a little bit more buoyant tomorrow and realize that perhaps she hasn't crashed the economy, at least not yet, and that we can actually breathe a little bit longer. So, what are you saying, Russian Die Earthling? You're looking forward to that as an Aquarius, with Uranus going into Gemini. Yeah, because of course Gemini is another air sign, and so you've got this lovely energy of Uranus, your ruling planet, going into Gemini, and it really is going to bring a very nice feeling of. I'm just scrolling down to my notes as I struggle for words. Let's have a look. Here we go. Yes, we're looking at technology, we're looking at education, transportation, and how we connect in society to each other. So we are going to, this is the planet of waking up. Uranus wakes us up. Well, I wish you'd wake me up tonight because I feel half asleep, but I'm doing my best, and that's all we can do. Remember, Gemini is the sign of the mind, language, networking, duality. It creates mental and societal revolution. Now, over the next few months, in fact, until November the 9th, we're going to have Uranus in Gemini. Uranus will go back into Taurus for a few months actually, it's only about 2.5 months, nearly 3 months on November the 9th and tidy up what's left undone in Taurus. So at that point, at the beginning of November, we could see a little bit of fluctuation again in the markets because, of course, Uranus will be retrograde. And then it finally moves fully into Gemini on the 27th of April in 2026. So what can we expect from this energy? Let's have a think about what happened last time, because it did bring a period of massive global upheaval. Because the last time Uranus transited Gemini was from 1941 to 1949. Now, this was the period of the Second World War. Now, it is interesting because it brought a lot of reform, a lot of obviously disruption and changes in the way we think, changes in the way we think politically, changes in technology. Technology received a massive boost at this time because clearly, everybody had to up their game and really become as tech savvy as they could with what they had available at the time. And, if you think of things like they cracked the Enigma code, they actually managed to, all these codes that were used to send secret messages about all the secret dealings that were going on within the war. They managed to break these codes. And this is all about Uranus in Gemini. AI, I think, is going to absolutely move ahead in leaps and bounds. And it was really interesting. Just before I came on, I was looking at the headlines of the news. And one of the things that good old Elon Musk is involved in at the moment is looking at I'll talk about Gemini moon in a minute. I just spotted that, Christine. I'll come back to that. But Elon Musk is developing an interface that you have implanted in the brain, which will mean we do away with these. We will not need them because it'll all be being activated just by our thought. So I will say, all right, Jim, because you've just come up in the chat, must organize that meeting with Jim. So I will just think about you and you will receive it in your interface, in your brain, and you'll go, oh, hi, Penny. Yes, okay. I can do 4 o'clock your time on Thursday or whatever it is. Now, I mean, this is seriously spooky stuff. And this really is Uranus in Gemini and Pluto in Aquarius. It is quite a disturbing element of AI, Christine. I agree. It is to, I think it's how it gets used. And I'm just want to see when you're too flat to resist, sometimes the best ideas find their way through. This is good. Actually, Jim, of course, you're right. And AI is a Pandora's box, Annabelle Sapphire is saying. Well, that's a very good point as well, Rebecca. What if you think it, say something bad about someone? Will they hear it? Yeah. How can we have a filter in there? How can we, supposing it's got a fault, supposing it gets some kind of virus, and suddenly we're telling everybody on our contact list that we hate them. I mean, there is a terrifying aspect to it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we need to, I don't, no, thank you, Elon, says Anne. Absolutely. My mind causes enough chaos without being interfaced. Exactly. Absolutely. A real carrot soup with donuts served up. Oh my, can you imagine if world leaders get these mind interfaces? Good God. We can't even go down that rabbit hole, can we? So I think, uranium, absolutely. And you see, this is what was going on in the Second World War, because not only did we start to get the sort of to a certain extent, a technological revolution. But we also got huge advances in aviation, because Gemini, Uranus rules aviation, and Gemini is air, like Aquarius, the sign that Uranus rules. So I think we are going to see massive leaps forward in aviation and space travel over the next 7 to 8 years. And that's also going to happen as well, even longer term, because of Pluto in Aquarius. So we've got this, and I think the next 8 years, we're really going to see an absolute rush of discoveries and inventions and technology that is just going to, blow our minds. What's that? More airstrikes, Christine Jones. What? I'm not quite sure what you're referring to. I mean, I've got a sense of what I can of what you're referring to. I think that we have to think about. Okay, so just because the last time Uranus was in Gemini, we had World War II, doesn't mean that this time we have to have World War III. Can we perhaps try to learn from the past and actually navigate our way through this energy and look for the peaceful way through negotiation and communication, Gemini, talking, freedom of speech, Uranus, rather than using brute force? Because that would be a much better use of this energy, rather than going down the same path that everybody went down in the 1940s. So, yes, absolutely, Poonam, it is disturbing an AMAC. No, I think most of us, Parry, are going to be like, oh, I don't think I want this mobile interface in my brain. I mean, this is going to take years. It's probably not even going to be in our generation, or maybe in our grandchildren's generations, they will see it. But by the time they're old enough and it's invented, they may also say, no thanks, because I think that, the French went on strike. Airstrikes, right. The French went on strike this week and created chaos in Europe and upset Ryanair. I bet they upset Ryanair. Oh, gosh. I think what's going to happen is over the next 2 or 3 days, because Uranus is going to be on that 0 point of Aries, is when we're going to see the most disruption. So if anything sensational is going to happen, it'll be in the next probably 24, 48 hours, I would have said. And there doesn't have to be, but it's that changeover point. It's that shift of the energy from heavy earth fixed Taurus into the air and, buoyancy and air energy and mutability of Gemini. So I'd quite like to have a brain inserted in my brain, but it would worry me that it could go horribly wrong. There's talk of an automatic translation device that you wear. Oh, that's interesting, Cosmic BL. I mean, it could be useful. Sometimes one needs one's own language translated, because sometimes one doesn't really know what the other person is saying. But here we are, and there we go. And so I think we will see with Uranus in Gemini a revolution in thought and communication. That is for sure. And controversial ideas like Elon Musk is coming up with, ideologies, which is interesting. He also wants to start his own political party. I think that is a fascinating move coming from him. I think he's looking towards being deported, if he's not careful, by that member of the carrot soup, vegetable soup, the carrot, the chief carrot will, hey, Mac, you don't want people knowing you're swearing in Scottish Gaelic. Poonam, he already did, he says. Well, he has deported him, has he? Oh yes, AMAC, you could turn off the lights in Westminster. That'd be good. I think that there will be some interesting side lines of this virtual reality. I think for people that like gaming, these young, the students and things that play these computer games and video games will have a fabulous time with it. But I think for us more mature people, I think, nah, let's stick to the tried and true. Maybe we're being stick in the muds. Maybe we should, yes, here we are, and there we go. A classic B. Oh, gosh. So, yes, we have this wonderful energy of Uranus in Gemini. And we have to remember back, because I think we mustn't leave out the United States, because remember, the United States are going to be having their Uranus return. And Uranus in Gemini is, for the United States, was when we had the Civil War. So there is, again, I think it's interesting because of the general sense of conflict and breakdown and disputes within the United States of America, that Uranus is coming back to the spot it was at when the birth chart was formed for the United States. And it will be interesting to see what happens. Again, it doesn't have to be how it was acted out then. This revolution may actually already be taking place. And I'm sure those of you that live in the United States would probably understand what I'm getting at. I think there is a general sense that fight is already on, and it's like a silent and peaceful revolution in a sense, or a peaceful civil war, rather than and the carrot soup just give up and go to sleep. Well, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Let's see. There's talk of him starting up a third party in the US. Are you talking about? I'm talking. Yes, Elon Musk. He's. That's what he's doing. Oh, it's already formed, is it? Annabelle, is Uranus the higher octave of Mercury? Yes, I think it is, Annabelle. Yes, because it is communication and it is air. So yes, it is the higher octave. And that reminds me that someone was asking about Moon in Gemini. Now, the Moon in Gemini, if you've got the Moon in Gemini natally, Uranus conjunct the Moon, I think actually is going to enhance, when you have Uranus conjunct your Moon, enhance your spiritual and psychic connections and that ability to see and be able to put some kind of form to the words of the ideas and frequency tuning in that you are sensing. So Uranus conjunct the Moon could also be on some level surprises. We have to look at it on the various different layers. Surprises, unusual developments around the feminine. So this could be to do with a female relative. It can be something unexpected around a female relative. I also think it can be, because it's the Moon, unexpected pregnancy that would be twins, because it's Gemini. And so if any of you out there have designs on becoming pregnant, or have children that are potentially looking to start a family or add to their family, it could be twins. So, yes, Cosmic BL, I've got Mars in Gemini too. Now, interestingly, I said in the Uranus video that I was a bit worried about Uranus coming up to my Mars, because I thought, oh gosh, does that mean I'm going to have some sort of, fall over and break something? It just kind of worried me. And actually what somebody said in the comments, which I haven't had a chance to go back to yet, is that she had Uranus conjunct Mars, and actually it brought in like a twin flame, because of course Mars can be sort of passion and sexuality, so it could be acted out in that way, which I thought was kind of cool and rather interesting. So just interesting that and I've also got Mercury in Gemini, so I'm going to have Uranus conjunct my Mercury first, which won't be for a couple of years, and then in about 5 years' time, Mercury will be conjunct my Mars. So it's quite a while before Uranus gets to my Mars. Let's see, Annabelle. Who else is there to replace carrots? I have no idea about American politics, but why, as with Britain, who else is there? I know. What about me? I could do it. As we all descend into loads of laughter. So let's just have a little think about the, core themes of Uranus, because I think it is important just to remember what we're going to pick up from this, because I think it's about trying to intend social revolutions via thought and ideas and communication rather than through weapons. And remember, the Second World War ended with uranium and an atomic bomb. Now, we don't want to invite that in this time round. So we really have... Yes, okay, vote for me, pick me. Yeah, I think it would. You'll vote for me, will you, Sil? Thank you. Penny's party. Oh dear, we'll all have fun all of the time. That's what I say. So in our militaristic extreme governments, this is the problem, Sil. And you see, we know that we've got to move everything away from this treadmill of the financial system that keeps this whole ball rolling. Because if we didn't have wars, companies that make weapons, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know, would go bankrupt because there'd be nobody to buy the weapons. And if we, and then it's the same thing with pharmaceutical companies. If we actually worked hard on finding alternative ways to take care of our physical health and use the minimal intervention of pharmaceutical products, then pharmaceutical companies would also go bankrupt. Oh, we're probably not allowed to say that, are we? And astrology should be mandatory. Astrology would be mandatory if I was in power. Definitely. And the world would be more peaceful, Christine, if women led the way. Absolutely. Okay, so you're gonna vote for me. Thank you. So, but how is it going to affect us on a personal level? Because I think we also have to think about this. And I think, remember, if you do have a personal planet in Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces, expect, with Uranus in Gemini, at various points over the next 7 to 8 years, mental awakening, shifts in your identity, how you see yourself, and changes in how you relate to the world intellectually. Because I think we're all going to be challenged to upgrade our way of thinking and to communicate more authentically and really break free from outdated mental patterns. So this is going to be an 8-year transit, and it's going to be, including with its retrogrades, in Gemini till 2033. So this is a, big deal. But let's see what else is. Good God, I just suddenly realized it's 7:15. Good God, I've been whittering away for hours. There it is, Penny. So listen, we've also got a full moon this week. Oh, that came round quick, didn't it? God, it was only just the new moon, and now we've got a full moon. The full moon is in Capricorn. This is actually quite a reasonable full moon. It does, of course, come with the usual health warning of lunacy and asylum breakouts and various other dramatic endings and disasters. I'm only kidding. But remember, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And it's about authority, boundaries, responsibility, and legacy. This can be a turning point. We might see turning points in leaderships. We may, because it could be a bit of a reality check, this full moon in Capricorn. And this video with the zodiac signs time-stamped this time by the inimitable Jerry is already up on my channel, so check that out. And I think this Capricorn full moon will trigger themes around our work-life balance, because remember, Capricorn is opposite Cancer. So you've got this Cancer home family where the sun is, and Capricorn where the moon is, which is career and our kind of parental authority positions, maturity, boundaries. Really, I think it's about letting go the things that don't support our way forward, looking at how we can encourage long-term growth. And so I think it's on the 10th. So I think that's Thursday, isn't it? I think the 10th is Thursday. And it hasn't got any particularly dramatic aspects. We've got Neptune and Saturn, interestingly, are sextiling Pluto, but they're not making an aspect to the full moon. But Neptune and Saturn sextiling Pluto, I think Pluto is just transforming the energies of Neptune as it's turned retrograde into looking at how we can let the veils drop away and start to see through this kind of lack of clarity of what's going on in the world. So this full moon is basically quite just unassuming. It's okay. And there's the growing sextile between Mars in Virgo and the Sun, but it's nothing really to write home about. And Venus has already moved well into Gemini. Actually, the one thing I will mention, of course, is Uranus is coming up to be conjunct Sedna. Now, that is quite a big thing, and I go into that in detail in the Uranus video, so I'm not going to go in detail into it here, but it is quite interesting because I think it's going to promote over the next 3 months a kind of silent revolution of the victimization of the feminine. So if we break that down, it's as if the feminine energy is not going to sit back and just be overlooked anymore. You walk, Annabelle, you walk 10,000 steps a day. Oh, gosh. Hi, Play Love Remember. Susanna Secret. Oh, thank you. You've already listened to the Uranus video. And Play Love Remember, your Taurus with your moon in Gemini. Uranus loves you. So you've had Uranus conjunct your sun, and now you're going to get Uranus conjunct your moon. You must be going through the most extraordinary change. How exciting, because actually Uranus is exciting. I think this is super good. It's brilliant. What's Parry saying? The future is a mystery to discover and to create through our hearts and minds with imagination and beliefs. Okay, Simi, you're going to have lower back fusion as well, because that's, remember, what I had last year. I had 3 discs fused, so 3 vertebrae fused last March in 2024, and 2 discs removed. And I have to say, touching every piece of wood I can find, my back is really good. I don't have pain. I'm still finding my core strength is not as good as it was, and I'm not yet able to get myself back up to speed. It has been amazing. Okay, Play Love Remember. Oh, I had terrible sciatica, Annabelle. I could hardly walk. I was just in tears with the pain. It was just dreadful. So the surgery was the best thing I could have done. But listen, guys, so this week there really is not, there's no other major aspects other than, but can we take any more from Gemini, Uranus going into Gemini? That's big enough in itself, because unless you're 85, you've not experienced this. So most of us, unless you're 85, have not experienced that. And, so there we go. And that reminds me, because a member of the vegetable soup will, of course, be having his Uranus return in a few years' time, because I think his Uranus is in Gemini. He's also going to have Uranus conjunct his sun. That'll be a separate video, I think, because that's going to bring some big life-changing changes to him. Yes, Simi, you have to build core as much as you can. Yes, Zil, Pilates is great. I've got a personal trainer who comes in twice a week and puts me through my paces, because if she didn't, I wouldn't do it. I'm just so bad at motivating myself into doing it. No chips brain. Yes, that's the one, Nikki Hensel. Annabelle, Gemini rising. Do you know what degree you are? Because that's going to be awesome. You're just going to go through huge, massive changes. I think that's really exciting. Yes, expect anything at any time, Christine. Absolutely. So listen, I'm going to move on to the word for the week, because I've got quite a good one, because bearing in mind that we're talking about Uranus, I thought Uranus is about vision in Gemini, visionary insight. And veg soup video would be very interesting. I could try and do one of those, couldn't I? Yeah, I think I might do that. Note to self, I will do that. Sounds good. In fact, it would be even better if I did it with Brandon, good old conscious medium Brandon Russ. I'll see if he wants to do that. I think he'll say yes. So let's have a look at visionary insight, and then we will have the tarot card for the week. So visionary insight, and this is what we could experience with Uranus in Gemini. These are moments of profound perception, intuition, creative foresight, and it transcends conventional thinking. It will touch our soul. It touches the future. It gets us in touch with the potential of the future and that deeper truth. Elizabeth Hart, better surgery in Malta. Yes, I tell you what, I've done very well getting all my bits seen to while I'm in Malta. I have to say I had to go private, because otherwise there was a long waiting list. And I thought, I'm too old to wait. I'm just going to have to do it. But of course, what it costs me here compared to what it would cost me in the UK are two very different stories. So I'm very happy with what I did here. Meeting our future selves. Do you know, I really like that. That is something of vision that we can get from Uranus in Gemini. So I've got some quotes, and these are about visionary insight. So Carl Jung said, "Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes." I like that. And that is so true. And that's why, and I was saying at the beginning that I've been very reflective today and this week about just being aware of my own thinking and my thoughts, and how your thoughts will take you down certain rabbit holes which can be quite negative and attacking of the self, and learning to take that mindful step back and observe it, and not allow myself to be governed by my thoughts, but to just see them as that. It's a thought. It's there. I can let it go. Anne Davidson, hi Penny. You're an Aquarius with Gemini rising. You are open to visionary insights this week. Yes, we all are. And they may come over the next few days. And see me, your whole personality is changing on your relationships. Your attitude is changing. We're all going to change our attitudes very much. Theodore Levitt said, the future belongs to those who see possibilities before they become obvious. That is what Uranus in Gemini is going to let us or help us to do that. Or you pulled the diamond stone, spectre of light, purity, transmission of light, transformation, initiation, long-term contracts, communication. That's perfect, again, for Uranus in Gemini. And we've got Proverbs 29:18. Always have to bring a bit of the Bible in on Sunday. Where there is no vision, the people perish. And actually, that's true. And we do, if we take that on a personal level, if we don't have insight and an ability to look to the future and have vision of how we can create our tomorrow, we can create our today, then actually we just fade and die. So Friedrich Nietzsche said, and this was as a reminder that true insight requires integrity, the visionary lies to himself, the liar only to others. That's quite interesting, isn't it? But, if the visionary lies to himself, how does he know until he actually tries to make that vision a reality? So, several ways of looking at it. APJ Abdul Kalam said, dreams are not what you see in sleep. Dreams are things which do not let you sleep. Yeah, that's a kind of truth. Jonathan Swift said, vision is the art of seeing what is invisible to others. And that's true. And that's true. Yes, Christine, diamond light sounds a wonderful tool to use. I like that. I like that. And Thick Nart Han said the insight that sees the interconnection of all things. When you touch one thing with deep awareness, you touch everything. Oh, do you know, I really love that because that is so true. Because when you connect on that inner level with just, you can pick up a flower and you get the essence and you sense the consciousness of the flower. And in that instant of recognition, where it recognizes you and you recognize it, you are connected to the whole. And it is a beautiful experience. Peter Drucker said the best way to predict the future is to create it. And that's what we have, a wonderful blank canvas. With Uranus in Gemini, we can paint the picture we want to see for the future. Let's make it full of freedom, happiness, peace, and love. Flowers are from the stars. I love that play, Love Remember. That's beautiful. See me, you've picked the 9 of Swords. Oh, great. Let's see what I pick. We've got one more, which is Japanese proverb. Vision without action is a daydream. Action without vision is a nightmare. Ooh, that's deep. A deep one to end on. And now I think it is time to see what I pick, because Simi's got the 9 of Swords, which is often our hidden fears, remember, Simi. It's the hidden fears that we have that aren't necessarily going to become reality, only if we give them power. So what we have to do is try and make sure we always keep our frequency. It's that one. Oh my God, it's this one. You're going to love this one. We have to try and keep our frequency on a high frequency of love, peace, and not forgetting the duality, because remember, Gemini is about duality. And I think that is, we have to keep the balance and the harmony of light and dark, dark and light. daily prayers and gratitude does a lot for the collective. It does. So Urquhart says the flower loves that you look at it. Of course it does. Don't we love it when somebody looks at us and says, you look nice today, or you look lovely? And here we go. Oh, see me. That's so sweet. Parry, you are a beautiful soul. And do you know, Parry, we all appreciate you. That is so lovely. Yes, I know Parry does. He focuses. Penny, this was a far better life than you think. Abundant substance in the best wittering. Oh, thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. Look what I've got. The Three of Swords. Well, on a personal level, I think this is about cutting to the quick, cutting the poison out to allow the healing to take place. So remember, we've got this full moon this week in Capricorn, Uranus moving into Gemini tomorrow. What do we have to let go of, cut out of our lives or our thinking so that the healing can take place? And to allow the duality. Now, what's interesting, of course, is it's 3. And Gemini is the 3rd sign of the zodiac. You've got Aries, Taurus, Gemini. So I think in itself that is quite interesting. Swords are piercing. Swords are just, they're action as well. And I think there's something here about the action that we all need to take. And some of that action is painful. And sometimes the action that we have to take to ourselves and to our psyches can be painful. We have to, I like that, Christine. Yes, get rid of the things that no longer serve us. Clear our space. And, you know, I think it's, yes, notwithstanding, Jim, absolutely. I think it's interesting that, you know, I started off by saying I've got these, you know, an infection in my toe, an infection in my boobie. And actually, George caught me with his tooth this morning. He was getting a little bit over affectionate. And so that all flared up and that's all red. And so I have all these sort of bits that are infected. And I think maybe for me, it's a metaphor of the I know exactly what it is. Right, I've got it. Holy Trinity, yes. Perfect imperfections, yes. I was thinking last night about observing my thoughts and letting go of certain thoughts that are not helpful to me. I have to cut them out from my my inner dialogue because they're not helpful to me. And I think once I can do that, then this healing can take place. So I think actually that your first card this morning is detached from the situation. And that's right, Play, Love, Remember. It is about being the observer. And I think that's what we all have to do at the moment. Weeding, yes, Jim, it is. And as you're saying, Simi, clear your heart of all negativity and fill it with strength and determination. We have to do that. We have to do that. And I think, you know, if we can do that, then actually life itself starts to give back to us. We have to be gardeners of our souls, don't we, Christine and everyone? Let's be gardeners of our souls, gardeners of the universe. And weeding, yes, I agree, Annabelle. It's a lovely word. It really is a lovely word. Listen, guys, it's 7:04 in Central Europe, and I'm going to go and have some supper. and before I maybe watch something on television and then go to bed. And so I will be back next Sunday for the live week ahead, and I will there'll be more astrobites coming out. We've got the full moon, you've got the Uranus out there, and it's going to be another, interesting dynamic week. And I think it'll be interesting to see how we do feel this week with the energy shifting into Gemini with Uranus. So, oh, hi, Emo. Good to see you here. You are all so welcome. Are you having carrots for supper? I might. I think I might bite their little heads off. Spit out the nasty bits. Yes, let's all enjoy the process of weeding and mulching. And I love all of you too. I really do. And I really value your presence here. Thank you for all the comments that have been coming in. I'm going to sit down and go through them all tomorrow. I gave myself a couple of days off this weekend to just not do anything. And Craftomatic, hello. Yes. And everybody, Anne Davidson, you're so welcome. And I always find it so difficult to go. I find it so difficult to go, but I am going to go. And you are all wonderful. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, share, all of that. Vote for me. Penny for Prime Minister, penny for President, penny for Queen or whatever, and and you take good care of yourself, Sil. I always want to know that you're okay, but I don't know. Well, I'm not even going to say it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what unfolds. Yes, sweet dreams to everybody. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week. And oh, yes, still, we're going to do that, aren't we? You let me know when you think it's calm enough for us to do it, when you're going to be able to be present in here, not just physically, because I think it's important you're present in your head and your soul space. Oh, Liz the Iron Maiden, hi. Yeah, email me, Sil. That'd be great. And too late. No, go and watch it on catch up. All right, my loves, I'm going to go. Take care. Mwah. Love you all. And I will see you all soon, very, very soon. So take care and bye for now.